A painting can give a feeling of place and mood that a photograph cannot do. With a landscape painting, it is that connection to the land and how we feel about a place and what that place reflects back to us in terms of our own lives. And this land is so compelling and so enduring that I have to paint it. Art has the ability of changing people's perspectives, opening their eyes in a way that they haven't seen the landscape before. That's why I turn my attention to the Blufflands, to the Driftless Region, to help people see and understand this special area. Well, I'm Sarah Lubinsky. I have had a great opportunity in my life to do a couple careers, one of them as an artist, which I do full-time now, and the other for over 25 years as a botanist with the federal government. And those two careers kept me in places I wanted to be. I want to be outside and enjoying nature. For a while, I thought I wanted to paint in other places other than the region where I live. But I would come back home and realize that this area, the Mississippi River Blufflands, the Driftless area, has its own beauty and its own mystique. And as I learned more about the area and the fact that I live here made me decide that it would be really wonderful if I could show what this region was like through the eyes of a painter. I found a mentor advocating a way of working that really dates back to the 19th century and people who were influenced by Thoreau and Emerson and were very thoughtful and contemplative about what they painted. And the method that I have learned from her was one that I basically started when I started River Sojourn. And that method involved going out into the field and just sitting and observing and letting your mind just be free to experience the nature around you. And after sitting in a place for a while, I would take out my sketchbook and start drawing. And what I learned was that sitting still for a while created an opportunity to see things a little bit differently than had I just gone there right away and set up to paint or to draw. And that stillness, that patience that comes from doing that has been an opportunity to learn things and to know things and to see things much more deeply than I had ever before. And this was a little bit of a surprise to me because I thought I was a pretty good naturalist. But what I started picking up on was the whole forest started realizing that there was something here. And these little birds started coming around me and making their little alarm calls. And after a while, everybody just kind of settled down and it's almost like they accepted me being there. It made me feel like I had seen something special, that I would not have been able to share this experience with these critters had I been walking or talking or with other people or even moving around too much. And it made me feel connected in a way that I had not felt connected, truly connected before. I'll do drawings in the field, and what I've learned to do is small drawings that help me understand the compositional patterns. I'll also do sketches of the elements that I want to include in my drawing and sometimes even more detailed drawings of the plants and features. When I come back from the field with my sketchbooks, I often do a small study, and the small study gives me an opportunity to work out things like color harmony, the mood that I want. Sometimes I change the time of day. And I can make those decisions with that study, and from the study, I'll often paint a bigger painting. And I paint in a style that dates back to the Renaissance. I paint in what's called an indirect style, in that I do layers of thin paints. So I'll do an underpainting that helps map out the various elements, and then over that I'll start applying rich texture and colors. It's a very enjoyable process because I get to leave a painting sit on the easel or sit behind the easel for a day or two, and then I can bring it out and again look at it with fresh eyes. So being alone in the woods has been one of my greatest experiences. And initially, I used to be a little bit scary. I thought, what am I going to see out here? And I'm all alone, and what if I fall? And all those other things. And I got to just love it, just totally love it. What I've attempted to do is to keep my mind open to new possibilities and to let the forest tell me what to look at. And after a while, I would see things differently. I would see things that I hadn't noticed, and I would see things that I was surprised that I had never noticed before. Different patterns or different species or different color in the light in the sky. Just all sorts of things that made me feel like there's this whole different level of awareness that can be achieved if you take the time to do it. There's this sort of melding of a person with the land where you feel like you're dissolving a little bit into the landscape, and it sounds really strange, but you lose yourself in it. It comes back to you in really good ways. It makes you love the place. I have focused the last year and a half entirely on River Sojourn. And it's a choice that I was fortunate to be able to make, and one that has brought me incredible adventures in the field and new things to paint and to learn to love and to explore. It celebrates nature, but I'm also hoping that it brings awareness or reminds people of what's of value here.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.